Green energy, a topic that is currently being looked into by many around the world with plenty of solutions being created and put into use, but one in particular stands out from the crowd: hydrogen fuel cells. Now, what is a hydrogen fuel cell, you may ask? Well, that's a great question. A hydrogen fuel cell is a device that uses hydrogen to create electricity and is similar to many different types of green energy sources. Most hydrogen fuel cells are made like a sandwich with two electrodes, an anode and a cathode, sandwiching a catalyst and electrolyte in between them. Now this is one sandwich that you don't want to eat. In order for a fuel cell to function, it requires both hydrogen and oxygen. The hydrogen is injected into the anode while the oxygen is put in the cathode. The catalyst separates the electron from the hydrogen atom, creating a positively charged hydrogen ion. Now, since the electrolyte only allows positively charged particles to pass through it, the positive ions pass, but the negative electrons are trapped. Now, we need to get the electrons to the cathode somehow, so an external circuit is used to connect the anode to the cathode, allowing the electrons to flow through it, creating electricity. And in the cathode, the hydrogen ions reunite with the electrons to form regular hydrogen atoms that then react with the oxygen to create water. The process that hydrogen fuel cells use to create electricity only produce heat and water as byproducts, therefore making it very renewable and very green. This water can be used to cool the fuel cells, and the heat can be used for other applications. Another thing to note is that each fuel cell creates around 1 volt of electricity, so tens or hundreds are stacked up and linked together to achieve a higher output. While hydrogen fuel cells may seem like the perfect green energy solution, like everything, there are downsides. The fuel cell itself does a great job at keeping emissions to a minimum, but the methods used to create hydrogen are harmful to the environment. Hydrogen itself doesn't exist naturally and needs to be extracted from other molecules. This process either produces greenhouse gases or uses a lot of electricity. Now, the majority of hydrogen created industrially utilizes a method called steam methane reformation, in which high temperature steam and methane gas are used to produce hydrogen. But the downside to this is that carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, or CO and CO2 respectively, are also created, both of which are harmful gases. An alternative to steam methane reformation is electrolysis, a process that uses electricity to split water molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. This process uses more electricity than the fuel cell can generate though, resulting in more energy being expended than created. Another issue I need to address is that hydrogen fuel cells aren't cheap. The majority of them use precious metals in their construction, and most fuel cells use platinum in their catalysts, which in turn drives the price up and makes availability for the general public harder. But despite these cons, I believe that fuel cells have a great chance at being the power source of our future. Hydrogen fuel cell technology has developed to the point where it is ready for consumers. And we can already see that hydrogen fuel cells are being implemented into our everyday technology. Toyota's Mirai is an electric car that runs off of hydrogen instead of a battery, and the trucking industry has been experimenting with hydrogen-powered trucks. If implemented correctly, hydrogen could help us move towards a greener planet. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you learned something new today.